What's up, Soul Warriors, and welcome to this Saturday Night Soul Session live with me, LC, and the amazing Suleiman Hassan, Mr. Soldiers for Recovery. I'm so grateful to have him here because, just like I told him, this has been a divinely designed season 4 of the Recovery Soul Food Podcast, and it has been absolutely divine. So he is sitting in the seat among giants who have been on this platform this year. I mean, I have been so blessed, and this guy is no different. And I want to go ahead and put this out here. We're also live on Instagram, YouTube, and I'm going to do the housekeeping in a minute. But first, I want to tell you, I want to give you a trigger warning, and it's going to be images of real life and speech of real life, real battles, real disease, and real human beings. And you know why? I give you that trigger and I ask you, let that trigger move you. Let that trigger lead you to love. Let it lead you to a new perception, because we can build all the brick and mortar treatment centers we want on earth, one on every corner, but until we begin to change the negative stigma that lives within society as a whole, this is a whole human recovery process. This is a disease of lack of connection and is healed by connection. And that is the world coming together. And it is bold speakers and courageous content creators like Mr. Suleiman Hassan, and I'm going to mess it up because I'm from the South, but it's bold creators like this man who isn't afraid to take us down in the places where sometimes we can pretend they don't exist, and that we're not losing real people, but the way he does it reminds us all and everyone that there's real pain, real suffering, and real people that all of us can just bring a spark of hope to. Because that's all it takes to catch a wildfire of hope, is just one spark. That's what it was for me, and I know that that's what it is for so many of us. So I'm excited to have him here. We might not have him for long, so I'm going to not do a short housekeeping. First of all, have you downloaded your Sober app? Please go do that. Get the support you need. Get all of the content you need all in one place. Make sure that you get involved in the communities and the groups and the processes there and everything, so that you can reach that place of life that you're creating and you're happy with. It's right there. It's available for Apple, and it's in the Google Play Store. It's also available for desktop. And you know what? Just go get it. Don't let anything stand in your way. Curtis, Danny, Mike, all the creators of the Sober app are amazing human beings with amazing missions and purpose. Also, stick around until the end for a great offer from my good friend Pamela Topchian with Breakthrough Hypnotherapy. And hey, while you're on Amazon this week, make sure you get her book. I didn't come this far to only come this far. This is her journey. It's amazing. I love her. She loves us. And you know what? If y'all are ready to get into this Saturday night soul session live with me, LC, and our amazing guest, Mr. Soldiers for Recovery, we're going to get right into it. And we're going to start with his latest video. Well, his next to of latest video. And I want to remind you, trigger warning, but triggers lead us to enlightenment. So here we go. Let's go.
I am Suleiman Hassan, and this is Soldiers for Recovery. And one may say, what's going on behind Suleiman Hassan? Look like somebody done relapsed or overdosed. Yes, today is Friday, the most day that everybody relapsed. The most relapses happen on Friday. The most deaths happen on Friday due to this disease of addiction. This is not a game. People wake up and they want to go party. 20 years, 30 years, one day, they throw it all out the window, and then they end up like this. He's gone on this Good Friday. So I suggest to all you, today is not the day to go do it. Love yourself. Take care of yourself on this Friday. And by any means necessary, don't use.
Suleiman Hassan, Soldiers for Recovery. What's up, man? Thank you for
Hey,
being here.
peace and blessings. Thanks for having me. Thanks for
Man,
having me. I'm
your
so
go
happy to
ahead. Your
be here.
boldness and I just love you so much, and I just am honored to be
Love you
sitting here
too.
with you. I'm honored to be sitting here with you, and I want to know everything, and I want to get you before the sun goes down. But man, you say some stuff in your bio that I read that early exposure was a big thing for you. But what I want to start out with is, how exactly did you get here? I want us to do take a small look at that so we know how much that spark of hope helped you get here. So tell us how you come to get here.
Well, how to get where I'm at today?
Well, how did your early exposure start, and how many years
Okay.
did you struggle, and then how did you come out?
Okay, my early exposure started, I had to be about like 8 or 9.
Mm,
Watching my mother, drink. She was an alcoholic, crack cocaine user, her and my stepfather at the time. And I come from a very large family. My mom had 9 kids, and um, I would like to think that the beers and stuff that they kept at the house, I would sneak and drink them. Um, just to make a long story short, what I noticed, like by the time the age of 12, I noticed, after drinking alcohol, that my worries was all out the window,
yeah.
of homework and taking out the trash, or I just didn't care. And that behavior continued, and it just continued on growing the older I got. um my first addiction was actually alcohol and stealing cars.
Mm, mm,
So and
mm.
I'm just gonna make it all short. It was a whole package deal.
Yeah, yeah,
It was that I had to drink. After I drank, I had to go take a car. I was addicted to the rush.
yeah.
And then because the car got the girls,
Mm,
so it was a whole
mm.
package deal. So
Yeah.
that wound up causing me 3.5 years of my juvenile life. I was locked up from 14 to I was uh, shy of 18 years old.
Wow.
But
Wow.
during that time, I grew up in a home. It was a lot of drug use. My house was considered the trap house.
Mm,
All the neighborhood addicts hung there. Everyone's children hung there because my mother took on other kids that had came from abusive homes and abusive childhoods. All of us ain't had no father, and we all just got drunk and smoked weed, and that was our way of escaping the reality at that
yeah.
time and at that age. Um, Speeded up to I was about 18. I came home and I fathered the child at 17. Um, to find out when I was 21 that the baby, she wasn't mine.
Wow.
So that led me deep into drinking.
Mm,
it only added on to my childhood trauma, which at 7 years old, when I had to dive in a dumpster because my mother sold all the food stamps and food to get bread and food out of the dumpster
mm.
so I can feed myself. So all that came back, and
Yeah.
I'm bouncing around because I don't
Well,
want
you
this
knew what
sun to go down.
worked. You knew what worked. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you had already
So
shown yourself what worked. So yeah, yeah.
yeah. So a lot of childhood trauma, man, uh, as an adolescent, led me down the path on becoming a addict.
Mm,
Um,
hmm.
and it was painful, especially when I had this daughter of mine, and I raised her, and I was giving her everything that my father wasn't. My father didn't come back in my life actually till I was 21, but I didn't want to be like him. So
Yeah.
for that to happen, it just led me in a drinking binge for 10 more years of my life.
It's amazing how it slips away, isn't it?
10 more, oh man, I brings tears to my eyes. I did what I drunk for everything.
Yeah,
Everything.
yeah, yeah.
Everything. I've been locked up. I got hit upside my head. I had a fractured skull. Well, no, this
Wow,
one I got hit in my head with a gun.
wow,
Uh, I had to walk home about 15 blocks, and my wife at the time had, stitched it up herself. I've been locked up, DUIs, waking up in strange places, not knowing how I got there. I remember one time here in Philadelphia, they got Delaware Avenue. That's the waterfront. I went down there. I was drunk. I was with some girl. And when I woke up, I had to be about like 24 then, 24, 25. I woke up. I didn't have no shirt on, no sneakers, but I woke up by the sound of lightning.
wow.
I remember going there, sitting down. It's about light as this right here. Woke up. The girl was gone. My shirt was gone. My sneakers was gone. All my money was gone. And
Wow.
I had to walk another 10 blocks to get on the train. But the guy knew me because the guy knew that I, you know, caught the train every day, drunk or sober, and he let me get on. So here I am soaking wet. God damn.
That's what I
You
love about your videos, man. That's what I love about your videos because you remind us how human this disease is. Because don't nobody choose to do that. You know what I mean? Like
no.
they are medicating pain, and when you go down to the places you go to, see, it's easy for people to sit places that don't see that all the time, and it's easy for us to, you know, almost forget, if you will, as a society
Yeah. I
that
mean,
real people aren't down there suffering, but they are.
yeah.
You and we
So
see it.
so to
Love
speed it up
love
on how I got there. I
love
got
you.
in an accident. I got in an accident, car accident from drinking, and I fractured my skull
Mm,
from alcohol because that was my first like drug, alcohol, alcoholic. And the doctor said, "Here, take these pills."
mm.
This was in 2016. Take these pills, 512s, take them as needed or every 6 hours. So of course, me being an addict, at first I'm like, I just started taking them and it felt good. The
Mm-hmm.
first thing I realized, like, damn, I don't have to be drunk no more. I can remember everything. I could go home, play my wife. I
Yep.
said, shit, the hell with drinking. Fuck
Yep.
drinking. Excuse my language. So I stopped drinking. Look, the disease told me, because this is
Yep.
how tricky and conniving this disease is. The disease told me, hey, listen, don't drink no more. Start on these pills. So I
Mm,
started taking about 10 Percocets a day. Then I look up, I'm up to 20, then 30, then 40. At one time, I would take 20 pills at one time. Now, a lot of people might say that's crazy. You ain't
no,
died.
I've
No,
done
I
it.
didn't.
No, I didn't. I've done it. I know you
Yeah,
can.
at
I
20,
know you
but I
can.
was doing it 3 times a day. So I'm
Mm,
taking 60 oxycodones, 512s throughout the course of a day. But then I found out they got 10s, they got 20s. Then I found out about the oxys,
it's
oxy
amazing.
80s. I started taking, after a year and a half after that accident, I was taking 8 oxy 80s a day. Then eventually I got my graduation papers. Y'all know what the graduation papers is. It was
Yep.
this client, because I'm a barber. He used to come in the shop. He used to see me. He used to tell me all the time, hey, Suleiman, look, you spending too much money on them pills. He was working on me. Some of y'all don't know. Some of them dealers and regular people we call our friends, they be working on you.
Yeah. Yeah.
They work on, oh man, this, they give you ideas. So for a year and a half, he's like, yo, you spending too much money, man. You could do this heroin. I said, man, I ain't doing, because the heroin in my mind,
Yeah.
I think about all the movies and stuff.
Yeah.
Y'all know I'm
Yeah.
talking about the
Yeah.
needles. And I said, man, I ain't
Yeah.
doing no damn needle. I'm better than that. Let me tell you something. My pill dealer left, went down to Baltimore. I'm cutting hair. I start going through withdrawal. I'm shaking, I'm sweating all over the place. So the bull, the guy, the dealer, he comes in there. He yells out across a barbershop, oh man, look like you're going through it. I got something for that.
Yep.
And I said, man, I'm cool. Right after, 1 second after I said I was cool, I said, know something? Let me talk to you. We
Mm-hmm.
went outside. He said, here, he gave me the bag. Hey, Ange, I'm on a podcast real quick. And it was too late, so I couldn't get home. Excuse me. That's my family right there.
Go
So
right
listen.
ahead.
So he gave me the bag. I said, I ain't doing no needles. He said, you ain't got to do no needles. All you got to do is snort it. He said, don't snort the whole thing. Just snort half. Man, I went in that bathroom. I snorted that bag, and I divorced my wife. I divorced my life. I left everything. I
Yep.
never felt so good in my life. And I'd be a damn liar if I sat on this podcast right now and say that I don't love him. I love it to death. It's just
That's it.
today I love myself more.
That's right.
I love myself more, but I love heroin. But at the same time, I don't love what it did to my life.
Yes.
I
Yes.
don't love what it did to my life, but I love
Yes.
it. I'd be lying if I didn't say, I want a bag right. I want a fucking bag right now. But guess what? I want to live right now.
That's right.
So every day for the past 8.5 years, almost 8 years, I struggle with that for the rest of my life. But how do I fight it? I go out in the community. I created Soldiers for Recovery in 2018. And ever since I got sober, because I got sober in 2013 or 14,
Yeah.
and
Me too. 13.
they told me you can't come back in here and speak for 30 days. Guess what? That week that I was out, that same week, I got out on a Monday, I was in there Sunday. And I've been speaking at rehab centers until COVID hit for the past 8.5 years. In 2018, I wanted to do more. So I went out to the streets of Kensington and I started doing more work. I give out food, I give out clothing, I help people get into rehab. I sent about 3-4 people to rehab this week. And I stay on
Love
the ground so I can be reminded
it.
of what God saved me from. I stay on the ground so I can remind others that it's hope, that they can turn their whole life around and beat this disease of addiction just one day at a time.
And they know your heart too, because and this is what I love about people struggling with addiction. They're some of the most amazingly talented and beautiful human beings in the
Yeah,
world, because even while they're alleviating their pain, they're still talking to somebody else about what they wish they knew, trying to even talk to children while they're doing this don't turn out like me and different things. And they trust you. They know your heart because they trust you, because not many folks would just talk to a stranger down there like that, but
mm-hmm.
they know your heart and what you do. And that's why I think that this whole recovery community is a vital part of the change and awakening to humanity, loving humanity, that's happening all over the universe. And I think
All
there's
over
so
the
many
universe.
different, just like in every armed forces, there's always those different jobs. And I
Yeah,
admire so much the boots on the ground,
yeah.
frontline soldiers like yourself, and
Thank you.
a few people I know in my area that continue to be there because that's where their passion, and all of us together, that's why I say we grow together and work on
Right.
each
And
other.
and guess what?
you
And
know
guess what? You know what I like about this disease? Because I love my disease now.
yeah, yeah,
By the way,
yeah,
we are all brothers and sisters.
yes,
It don't matter if you're black, Puerto
yes,
Rican, Chinese, Haitian. This disease has no race. But
Amen.
guess what? It connects us in this brotherhood. Like
Yes,
right now, talking to you, it feels like I've known you
like I've
all
known
my
you.
life.
Yeah. I know. I
all my
know.
life.
I know.
I mean, but this disease has uh made me grow up, if
Yeah.
that makes any sense.
Yeah, it
I'm
makes
reading
perfect sense.
books now. I read now. I study. Uh, I developed I had wrote a whole stage play in which I go into schools. You
Love.
know, I got a stage play. It's called All Must Change: Thinking,
Mm,
Behaviors, and Attitudes. And I go into middle schools, high schools. You know what I mean? And I tell my story. I got a whole stage play now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking to come to your city. I'm
I'm
looking to
ready.
come to the cities all around
Yes,
America, maybe around the world, because I want it to
yes,
grow so I
yes,
can talk to the students and maybe my life story can save their life or my stage
yes.
play can save their life. Yeah,
Absolutely. I
yeah, and
spoke to my 13-year-old niece yesterday and I asked her, I said, what are they teaching you guys in school about addiction and
no,
different things? And she said,
nothing,
nothing, nothing,
nothing,
nothing.
nothing.
And it's
They
vital.
ignore it. They ignore it. We
Yeah,
got kids dying, excuse me, every day.
yeah.
Last month, what was it in Ohio? 14-year-old and a 13-year-old, I believe, overdose.
Wow.
Overdose. Down here in Chester, PA, this charter school, elementary school, I'm talking about second and third graders, they came to school with some edibles,
No,
literally passing it out to the kids.
no,
See, we keep
no.
thinking that these kids don't know what's going
Right.
on at third grade, nine
Yeah,
years old, 8 years old. They know what's going on,
yeah, yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And
We've
they're,
proven that. We've
man,
proven that in their development. We've proven that that early childhood development in life starts at 0, to 7 years old, and then it keeps building from there, like we're
right.
building
And
foundations.
and listen, that's why I developed this stage play. All Must Change. It's a
Almost
Suleiman
change.
Hassan addiction to recovery life story. And
Amazing.
I developed it to save lives. It's a 50-minute presentation.
Yeah,
And and every time I perform it, the kids love it, and they all walk up to. I had one parent, right, because I'm a barber. I uh I was cutting one of my clients' head, and my client called me up. He said, "Hey man, I just want to thank you." I said, "For what?" He said, "My son just had a conversation with his mom about wanting to smoke weed, but he said you came to his school and he
wow,
seen you and heard your story, and he told his mom, scratch that. I never want to do drugs again, or
that's
never
amazing.
want to try it."
That's
And he
amazing,
thanked me. I said, "Oh my God!" I said, "This is why Suleiman Hassan does what he does."
man. And how did you have any second thought, like when you felt like I love to ask people about the moment that their passion became clear to them? Did you have any qualms, or is it just your personality? Just because I could just see you as a real guy,
It's just
like real you,
the,
soul. This is your power.
I'm gonna say this. Growing up, my mom she instilled in me the best qualities that you see in me today.
Mm,
And even though my upbringing was crazy, I always was a good guy. And my mother, you know, part of my spiritual belief has a lot to do with my character because I've chosen at a young age, 6, 7 years old, to make it part of my character. And all I know is I have to save someone. I feel like this is my job. I
yeah.
this is my purpose.
Yes. You
This
break
is
the
my
generation.
listen. This is my. I tell people all the time. This is my drug now.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
how I get high. This is how dopamine
Yeah.
is released for me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like everyone is created with a gift.
Yep.
Everyone
Yes.
has something special, and
Yep.
sometimes you got to go through hell in order to reach that gift. And I believe the
Yeah.
gift that I have is what I'm showing to the world today.
It sure is, man. It sure
All
is.
this is all I know. This is
You
all
deserve
I
it.
know, man.
You
And
deserve. to bring this creativity into schools, because I just had a meeting in my county, and they've been allotted $68 million to spend
Mhm.
on addiction and recovery resources. And while we were sitting around in this meeting, they kept saying all the things we need. Yes, we need indigent programs. Yes, we need brick and mortar. But the one thing that we need more than anything is to change the stigma surrounding addiction and recovery and mental health in the general public, as well as start to educate. And I think it comes through education. We can't
It definitely
damn
come.
anybody down. We got to
Listen,
educate them, man.
no, the thing is to educate them. And
Yes,
I choose to give a story because everyone likes stories.
everybody.
When we read books, it's a story. When Instagram, it has stories.
Yeah,
Movies is a story. And how I present my presentation is very interactive, and it starts out, and I get the kids' attention immediately. Because how I and it's a story. How I first address them, I
mm,
address them in a story way. And I ask, see, you got to understand, this ain't back in the day. Your day, my day. We got to respect the adults first and this and that. No,
yeah,
I understand. We are new generation. It's flipped.
yes, yeah,
See, I don't talk at the kids. I talk
yes,
to them. I
yeah.
ask for permission. And if they say yes, and I ask them, are you sure y'all ready to hear my story?
That's
Because it
amazing.
may save your life. And they be
That,
like, yeah, sure. And when I open them up, once they let me in,
yeah, it's
it's
genius.
over.
It's
It's
genius.
over. And not only does my assembly save lives and not act, but is addiction prevention for the youth,
Yeah,
I also have a plan of action, an 8-week program that the schools, I can come into the schools for
amazing.
8 weeks, for 8 weeks, for 1 hour, to sit with the students, and we go over this 8-week program, which is going to address not just addiction, but childhood trauma, not just
That's
drugs and
amazing.
alcohol. It gets to the core of
That's
that
right.
word, why.
That's right.
Why? And
That's
I
right.
have them write out there on the way I have this structure. They write out their own recovery plan. They
That's
come face to
amazing.
face with what's going on inside of them.
That's amazing.
And at the end of it, they realize, hey, this is life. I don't need anything.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
how I have it designed. I designed it that way
That's
with a few of
divine.
my colleagues, and it's working amazing out this way. And I would love to come out to
Well,
your city,
you just
and we can
you,
put it together.
you just believe, man, that there's no way that a resource to there's no way a resource like that for our area just happened to fall down in my lap and me not, reach out, because I've been doing online recovery now for like 4 years, and I know
Mhm.
that it saves lives. I
Oh
know that
yeah.
it saves
Oh
lives.
yes,
And I
yes,
also know
yes.
the power of purpose in your
Right,
own recovery whenever that purpose becomes, crystal clear. And
right.
so, there are ways that we can just grow this change together. And what you're talking about is born in an area where it's become pretty synonymous with down and out and addiction, just like
Hey,
LA Skid
mhm.
Row, and
It
every
look.
major city has them.
Let me tell you something. Kensington Beach in Philadelphia, Skid Row ain't got nothing on it.
Yeah,
You want
yeah,
to know
I
why?
think
I'm
that.
gonna tell you why. Every city they have a designated area,
Yeah.
but most like Skid Row is in an industrial area.
Mm,
Baltimore, it's in an industrial area.
yeah, Mobile.
Kensington,
Yeah.
it's in the neighborhood where
Wow.
citizens live.
Wow.
That thing called city, what is it? Kensington Beach, where I go, is at a public library.
You know what, when we back up,
There's no city like that in America, like
you
Kensington, Philadelphia. And
you
I'm down
know
there every day.
I see that. And you know why that's so divine? You know why that's so divine? Because when you back up and look at this thing from a bigger picture, much bigger than all of us, Kensington, Kensington will be where the change is born, because society don't pay attention to nothing till it's in that neighborhood. You know what I mean? In the neighborhood, they think it's not supposed to be. So as long as it stays on our neighborhoods, in the poor
Industrial.
neighborhood, in the brown neighborhoods, it's all right. But when it hits that neighborhood, it's an epidemic. So that may
Listen,
be the neighborhood that saves
let
the
me tell you
world.
something.
Baby, I look at
That
things
look,
big and I
that
see that.
that place, if you viewers go to my page, Soldiers for Recovery, and just go through the videos.
Yeah, yeah,
Just go through the videos.
down there every
It
day.
it it looks just like a movie, but
Yeah.
the truth is, it ain't a movie.
Mm-mm.
It's not
No,
a movie. This is on the streets.
it's real life, real pain.
Real life is real. So I developed the All Must Change stage play with my personal life story of living up there,
Oh,
my personal experience of sleeping up there,
wow.
losing it all. I developed my plan of action. My 8-week plan of action is developed around my experience of being up Kensington Beach.
Man, that's valuable.
Yeah,
Man, that's valuable. That's
yeah,
valuable. Was there a moment, man, that you just awakened to wanting more in your life? Was there, or what was the
yeah.
lead up?
Let me tell you, it's me wanting to stay sober. That's the moment.
So it's in
It,
every
it,
moment. It's in
listen,
every moment.
it, it, I'm not stopping until I have a Lifetime story on
Yeah,
Lifetime TV. And trust me, I don't know how I'm gonna get there.
you don't need to. That ain't your business.
I don't even care.
That
My thing
ain't your
is,
business.
I gotta save as many lives as possible before it's my time to go.
Yeah,
I use everything that I'm doing to keep me sober. And it just so happens that God has made it where as though that I'm saving other people's lives.
yeah,
And I love it. I can't say it's something special, nothing, but uh, uh, this is this is what I found my purpose.
yeah.
So the excitement you see
I know
is
it.
I found purpose of fucking life.
I know it.
And I remember a time that I had no purpose.
Yes.
Always ask God this. Another reason. One of my last runs, when I stopped playing and saying, "Oh, we all say, God, this is my last time." I gotta
Yeah,
laugh.
yeah. Every
Drunk,
time.
hungover.
Yeah,
If
yep.
God help me, please, this is my last run. Guess what? This in particular night, I said, God, I got honest. I said, I'm not gonna stop. But I said, God, if you have a plan for me,
Mm,
this brings tears to my this brings tears to my eyes and joy. Because I said, God, if you got a plan for me, this is my rock bottom moment. I said, please, because I'm gonna kill myself and I'm gonna keep using. But I said, God, if you got a chance for me to live, to make it to paradise, to have a better life, because I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm done, I'm sorry, because I'm not sorry and I'm not done. I said I'm gonna kill myself. But if you got a plan for me, please remove this from me. Let me tell you something. I kept on using for 3 months straight after that prayer. One day I woke up and I was getting ready to go to work, and God told me, not today. And He removed that from me. I'm talking about the burning desire. That fucking, when you get in that zone and say, fuck it, He removed that from me that day.
that's
But the
amazing.
burning desire, I'm talking about the burning desire to say, look, something I got one. He removed that. I'm not saying that I didn't have to fight, because I'm fighting that, but that burning desire to say, fuck it all.
Yeah,
He took that away from me, and I ain't never looked back.
amazing.
But
Amazing.
it ain't happened until I got honest.
Yeah. Oh
So
yeah. Never will.
I want people to experience that.
Yeah.
So that's what you see.
Yeah.
And then for the youth, I don't want them to have to go through what I went through.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why I'm speaking to them, and not just speaking to them, but for the adults, I'm an example that you can do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can do it, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
Yeah.
the more that you go down there and you keep touching, hearts, we all know that rarely ever have we just given up in a day. You know what I mean? Like in a day, it just all changed for us. It is
No.
our growth period. We didn't get to that down and out place in addiction overnight. And we're not going to get to growth and wellness and
Mm-mm.
wholeness
Let me
overnight
tell you
either.
something. It doesn't look. I've relapsed a million times.
Yeah, me too.
But let me tell you something. When I got clean, you got to understand, y'all got to understand, all the listeners, you got to understand everything is going to be thrown at you. I've
Everything.
lost I've lost family members. I've opened up, you know, my significant other's phone 2 years into my recovery, right? I opened up her phone. She in love with somebody else. I did not use. You understand me? My son got shot. I did not use. You know, I've been lost. I've been through everything. What you have to understand, everything that's going to come after you getting clean is called life.
Yeah,
You are going
yeah,
to lose relatives. You might lose your boyfriend, girlfriend, or your significant other, whatever you like and whatever you're into, but you might lose them. But the
yep,
question is, what are you going to do?
absolutely.
I decided to keep living.
Yeah, yeah,
That's all you, because life is going to happen. Life is always going to show up. You might wake up, you got a flat tire. The cat might die. I had a friend, they had their dog for 6 years. I'm at his house right now. The dog died. What are you going to do when your pet dies? What are you
yeah,
going to do when you can't pay no bill? That don't
yeah,
mean F it. That means
that's
you
right.
keep living because it's called life.
Yes.
The hardest thing for me to do, but the easiest thing at the same time was to say, you know something? This is life. I'm not going to use it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. For sure, because it never stops it. You know what I mean? It's just a
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
temporary reprieve while everything just building up on you. So whenever you just sober
Right.
up, it just all comes running through.
That's
And
right.
whenever for me, I had to get to that place where I stopped asking that question of why me and just,
Yeah.
feeling, all right,
Yeah.
why me? Well, shit, I can't die. Like all my
Yeah.
friends were dying. Everybody was
Right.
dying around me. And I was asking the same questions as
Yeah.
like, you got something for me, now's the time to throw it down because I'm in
Yeah.
a place where I may not come back,
May not
this
come
time.
back. That's
And
right.
I really didn't want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, when you get
Yeah.
to that place, you that
Yeah.
hopeless, when you find that spark, you
Hmm.
generally, you start moving with it. And I think that for everybody that may be struggling in that and new recovery and finding that out right now, because
Hmm.
the old paradigm is if you just stop using, your life's gonna be okay. And it
Right.
leaves you hopeless when you stop losing and shit just keeps piling on you because we
Yeah.
created, we got stuff to we created, man. It's gonna
we
keep coming
create.
around.
We
We
created.
we don't
What?
get to stand up and say, I'm clean now. Don't turn
No.
around. No, it
And
don't
expect
happen.
everybody to forgive you and
Yeah.
things that's gonna be peaches. No, you
Yep.
caused a lot of pain in people's lives. You done a lot of wrong things to a lot of people that you said you love.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and then you expect people, like I expected my ex-wife at the time just to forgive me and everything be normal. It don't work like that. My
No.
kids, my brothers, my sisters, my friends, it don't work like that. I've done so much wrong, you
Yeah.
know, and a lot of people, a lot of
Makes it
addicts,
work.
recovering addicts, as far as myself, we throw our recovery out the door because someone won't accept us back.
Right.
But
Right.
you can't do that.
Right.
You have to understand that it takes time.
It does.
You know, some relationships you're not going to get back.
And that's the truth.
You
That's the
know,
truth. That's the
yeah, and that
absolute
was
truth.
hard for me. That was hard for me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is. You kind of just double down on that. But no, I'm clean. It seems sometimes you're screaming at them, and you're really screaming at yourself, trying to convince yourself that there's not one last run in you. Like I knew my last run was gonna be my last run, one way or the other. I didn't have no more to give.
Me
You
too.
know,
That's
and,
crazy. Me
but I
too.
and I remember too when I reached that part, it wasn't
Yeah.
as hard to fight people to believe that I was clean because they could see something change in me. Like,
Right.
you
Right.
know what I mean? And all them other times
Right.
I'd fight them, but I didn't feel the need to fight them. I was like, okay,
Right.
you'll see, and I'm willing
Yeah.
to put in, the work. I ain't gonna let you
Yeah.
abuse me, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
put in the
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna
You
put
know
in the work.
something with me, I didn't even care whether they.
Yeah,
I
right.
was so I was
That was
kind
it.
of like like my wife would say I was what you call that, like conceited, or I was just in the
Indifferent.
zone.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just ain't care.
yeah, yeah.
I
I
look,
I felt
this is
that.
what I'm doing now.
Yeah,
I got to work on myself.
got
Oh,
to.
oh, you going to? Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is what I'm doing, and I stand firm on it. And when you moving that way,
Yeah,
it's almost you ain't got to tell people to respect you.
right,
They just gonna respect you anyway,
right, right. Because you get to a
because
place where you
they
respect yourself,
exactly, exactly,
and
man,
it
and that's
grows
no
from
greater
there.
fear.
Yeah, that's
Hmm.
the seed you're planting. Like during that work, the seed you're planting is that integrity, is that finding out who you are. Because when we spend them years in addiction, especially when we start real early, because you and I
Hmm.
share a lot of the same story with our age and substance,
Right, right.
you
Oh,
know,
time is.
and when we're doing that early, you got to
Hmm.
learn who you are,
Hey,
and you get to
yup.
create your integrity and value.
Listen, I tell people all the time, the years that you started using is the years that you mentally stopped
Right.
growing.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And it took me 8 years to get, where I'm at today. Like I'm still learning who I am.
Yes.
And I'm learning to love the person that I am.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it takes time,
It does.
to grow and to learn that damn, like I gotta really grow up. That's why a lot of times when early on when people get sober, they still act a
Yeah.
lot of them still act young because
Yeah. Yeah.
mentally that's where your development and growth stops at.
Absolutely.
Psychologically, that's where everything stops at. So you literally have to step back and you start
Absolutely.
have to practice new habits.
Yeah.
That's why I always encourage reading and listening to affirmations and things
Yes.
that's going to elevate you. Go to get into conversations that's has a lot of substance. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Don't
Yes.
use the same substance as before conversations because it might
Right.
trigger you. Go to something that's challenging.
Yeah.
Listen to something that you don't understand,
Yes.
and that
Yes.
way, it'll motivate you to learn to understand it. And
Yes.
these are the situations that I place myself in today. These are the kind of conversations I have,
Yep.
environments I have. Like this podcast right now is different. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
It's challenging to me,
I
and I
love
know
it.
and it's saving people's lives. So
Yes.
this is part of the person that I'm growing into,
Yes. Yes.
and you just got to allow yourself to grow.
Yeah.
You can't go backwards. You can't change nothing about you in the past. You're an addict. You're a recovering addict. Accept it and grow.
That's it. That's it.
Some
Just
people,
know.
some real quick. I don't like it. Like I had a conversation with someone in a high position, and this individual said to me, "Well, I don't think it's good to tell people that you used to use drugs and alcohol." And I said, "Why not?" Oh, because they're gonna look at you different. This now, I said, "Listen, my man, I don't care how people look at me,
Good.
because at the end of the day, that's part of who I am. That's a part of
Yeah.
my history. I
Yeah.
don't want to hide that.
Right.
This is
Right.
I don't live that way no more. So that'll let me know, whether this person belongs in my life or not.
Yeah.
But this
Yes.
how I'm rolling.
Good for you.
I don't
Good
care
for you.
what people you can. I don't care who y'all. This is part of who I was. I lived that way before.
Yeah.
Why am I just gonna throw my own self away to
Right.
make somebody else comfortable? I'm not
Absolutely.
doing that. That
No.
that that might cause me to relapse.
That absolutely could. All it
I'm
does
not.
kick open a door on that
I keep it a
compromising your
hundred.
own values, and that's
That's
it.
right. And
That's
a
it.
lot of people, are still using drugs or relapsing just because of this purpose. Oh,
Yes.
I don't think that they would accept me if only if
Yes.
they knew who I was. And I mean,
Absolutely.
come on, man.
Absolutely. So many of them stay out just because of that. Like I told that same committee, I said, before you trade your body or sexual services for drugs or commit that
Right.
felony for drugs, you already know your brain associates that with demoralizing. So,
Hmm.
you make that agreement in your brain. But what you don't think is should be dehumanizing is going and asking for help. And
Right.
so that really screws people up and it keeps them from doing that because they reaching for help and being treated like they're just the scum of the earth. That
Hmm.
they're not going back for that because that in their brain should not equal a dehumanizing act. That should be
That's
their
right.
light,
That's right. And that's
and you
why,
got to
man.
work
Hopefully,
on them.
got to, man. And that's why hopefully you can go to the committee, man, when we can get the Suleiman Hassan addiction to recovery all must change story to these schools and
Absolutely.
and everything, man, so we can help save
Absolutely.
a lot of these kids' lives because the
I'm
kids
telling
need
you.
it. These
Yeah,
kids
because
are dying.
you're breaking generational codes right now. Like you're
That's what we
breaking
have to do.
generational trauma right now. And in every
Yeah,
one of those children, they could be the change maker in their whole
right,
generation.
right.
Their whole generation. Let me ask you this question because I see the sun going down on you, and I want to hear this before you get to having to go. Is what do you what do you wish what should we know about what's really happening right now in the world of addiction, and what would you want any one of those people in those places to know is possible? Give it to
I
us straight.
want I want the world to know that addiction will take your life.
Yeah.
No one has ever beaten this disease of addiction. I don't care how many times you trick yourself and telling yourself that you can have one more,
Yeah.
you can't. There's
Yeah.
no such thing as one more for people like you and me.
That's the truth. That's the
I
truth.
don't care how strong you might think you are. And this goes out for the people who has 10, 15 years clean. Let me tell you something. You ain't no different than anybody else in this addiction and recovery world. I gotta put that out there because you have some people out there. You and I both know we ran.
I
We all
know.
got this time. That time. That
I
time
know.
means nothing. All you got is one day in this world of addiction.
That's absolutely the truth.
One day, because it only takes one time to throw all that out of the window. But on
That's
the
it.
flip side, I'm gonna let the people know that there's hope. You can change. You can recover. One day at a time, your whole life can change. I came from sleeping on the streets, eating on the streets of Kensington, Philadelphia. Look it up. Look at my videos. You can see where I laid. You can see where I sleep. You can see where I ate. To now becoming a homeowner, a business owner. Now I have a nonprofit called Soldiers for Recovery. Not just a nonprofit, I also have All Must Change Company, which go into the schools and save the lives of the young children of today. So
Well,
there's hope and recovery for you
yes.
in this recovery world. You don't have to always stay where you're at or where you are. You can always surrender to this disease of addiction and turn a new page to start a new life because it's a new life once you accept yourself and who you are. And that is an addict. And the
Uh,
day you accept that I am an addict, that's the day that you're going to start taking your recovery seriously. And that's what I want to put out there.
and knowing that there is just hope, like there
It's
is
nothing
hope
but
for your
hope.
life. And it is so amazing to watch your life unfold once you start accepting and becoming truly aware of the
Mm-hmm.
things, the stories you're living under, the things that them triggers. What are those triggers saying to you? Like, let them talk to you. That's why I started that out with this. These images may trigger you, but let that trigger
To
walk you
do
into the
something,
light
yeah,
of
right.
awareness, that this is it. I admire you for continuing to go down there and staying on the front lines and having the strength and the heart and the passion to do that. I want to make sure that I thank you so much for spending time with me here today. And you and I
Anytime.
we are hooked up now, and I've got
Yeah.
your email, and we're going to talk a lot more about this. I absolutely
Excuse
know
me.
it. There's
Hmm.
so many divine reasons why we're connecting at this time in this place.
Yeah.
I know that, and it's happening in our lives. Everybody, listen, if you stop and look and change your perception from seeing everything that's wrong and all your limitations to actually back up and look at what's divinely happening in your life, even amongst that mess of life that you're going through, there's something bigger in that. And when we start living from that place of getting excited about what it's going to be and how programs are going to be developed and the world's going to change, there is no stopping us. And I love this community. I love being a part of this recovery community. I love being connected to you now. I'm going to continue to be a fan, let you push me and
Thank you.
remind me of what those places were. Because,
Yeah.
sometimes when our purpose is different, I don't get to work with the same people that you work with. And so your content is so amazing in my whole of being because it reminds me of where, I used to be and how a spark was born in me and a spark can be born in that person too. Nobody until they're not breathing anymore is without a chance, the ability
Right.
to make a new choice. And I
Right.
appreciate you and people that you work with and all of y'all for being out there giving people that choice and that hope and that spark. Man,
Right.
I look forward to seeing everything from you. Everything
Hey,
from
I look forward
you.
to meeting you one day, and
Yeah,
we
you
sit
will.
down at the table, man.
Yes,
And I'm out there, and
it's coming.
we bringing the addiction to recovery story to
It's
these
coming.
schools and the kids for the
It's
next
coming.
school in
It's coming.
September or sooner, man. Let's put the play together
Let's do it.
and let's save some lives
Let's
because
do it. Let's
it's
do it.
saving our lives, you
That's
know. And
right.
that's what it's all about, man.
It is.
That's what
It
it's
is,
all
man.
about. That's what I'm all about. And I appreciate you having me, guys. I appreciate you listening. And I hope if you don't take anything from this show right here, I want you guys to hear me and hear me well. If there's anything that you don't take from this video that you see today, know and take that you can make it.
Yeah.
Know and take that there is a life after recovery and during recovery. And it's a
Yes.
beautiful life waiting on you on the other side. See, they say, okay, addiction is hell. If you know you in hell, why would you stop there? And if
Mm,
you did stop, why would you stay there when you
yeah.
know the light is at the end of the tunnel? So
Yeah.
don't stop there. We already living it. You've been there. Let me tell you something. I didn't stop. I kept running. I stopped for a little bit, just like a lot of us did, but keep going.
Yeah.
And when
Keep
you keep
going.
going, that means you're going towards your recovery.
That's it. That's it.
And let's come to the light because there's nothing but bright light on the other side of this
That's it.
disease of addiction. So don't
That's
stay in hell. Come out of hell so
that's
you can
it,
start
man.
living.
Janet McClanahan says in 523:18 that she is a she's recovering from methamphetamine. She recovers out loud. Her past doesn't define who she is, and she's
That's
growing and
right.
healing and changing every day. And that's so true.
Congratulations, man.
And I love it.
Congratulations.
I
I
love it.
love
This
it.
is why we do it. This is why it
Yeah.
happens. Well, Suleiman, Hassan, I love you. I'm gonna keep on watching those
Love you
videos.
too.
I'm gonna be in touch. I'm gonna start
Keep
some
in touch.
wheels
You got my
rolling.
number.
I do, and I got some wheels rolling, and we're gonna start working this thing out. I'm gonna get some bugs in some ears, man, and we grow
Okay.
together. We
Yeah,
grow
you
together.
also my website, I'm doing some construction right now, so
Okay,
it'll be I'm relaunching it again next week. You'll be
nice,
able to go on there, and whoever wants to book the Suleiman Hassan's All Must Change assembly, you can go on there
perfect.
and book. You can find me on Soldiers for Recovery
Yep,
on IG.
yep.
Anyone that needs rehab, that needs to be placed, call me. I don't care where you at in this country. I can get you some help.
Amazing,
And
amazing.
don't worry about know how much it costs. If you in California, Mexico, don't matter. We're going to get you on a plane in a matter of days and get you some help. That's what
Oh
I do.
my
That's what I
gosh,
do. So
love it.
yeah, hopefully we can get in these schools. Get with me, man.
You
I'm
know I
waiting
am.
on you.
You know
I'm
I
waiting
am.
on you.
You know I am. I'm going to be in touch. I'm going to get these wheels rolling because we got to have programs like this. They got to come everywhere,
I got
especially
it.
all throughout the South. We need it through the South, man, because the South is lacking in this type of education, as they've always been. Stick your head in the sand and pretend it ain't happening while it's ravaging your whole population. So,
I got
you
it.
know,
I'm gonna show you
I'm with
something.
it.
Give
Let's
me
do it.
1 second. One
Come on.
second. I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna show you something because I happen to have it with me. Thank God. Where's it at? Where's it at? Oh man, did I bring it in the house? Give me 1 second.
Do what you need. I love passion and recovery. Like I love passion and recovery, y'all. Like there is a spark of hope, and when you find passion and you get that thing, it just drives you through all those trials, tribulations.
Man, you love it.
I
I
love it.
love it too.
I love
Here
it.
we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here I come. All right. I got something special.
All right.
And for dudes, this is already copywritten and everything else. So I'm gonna let you see that.
That's amazing.
This is the program.
That's amazing. God, you
You
put
read
so
that?
much work in that. Yes.
This is the program. This was put together by my seventh grade teacher, which is a doctor.
Wow.
She doctor in education. I have a friend out in Virginia, Dr. Michael Edwards. You can look him up as well. He has his doctor's degree in human health care, drug and alcohol as well. He
Wow.
was put together with some very professionals in court and plus myself. And this is an 8 week program.
That's amazing.
It's an eight
That's
week program.
amazing. That's
All
amazing.
right here.
That's going to
And
change lives, man.
yeah, and this is the program right here. I have it.
Hold the
You
future.
know.
You holding the
Yep.
future.
The Soldiers for Recovery, Addiction to Recovery program.
I
So if
can't
we
wait.
can, me and
I
you
can't
link
wait.
up, man, I
Let's
got
do it.
everything.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. They are eager to set to spend this money and spend it properly. I feel like I trust the hearts of the people that are looking to, you know, be the ones to make these things happen and make these choices. And my job is to get in there and fight for what we need to change how the world looks at addiction and recovery, so we make it safer. One of the programs I'm working on is for adults, and here you come in and you've got this great thing for students, and it's
Well.
like,
See. The beautiful thing is this can be for adults and
well, that's
students.
exactly what I was.
I got this. We
They
designed
change
it
with them.
on a second grade reading level.
Perfect.
We designed it second grade all the way up to adulthood because coming off of drugs and alcohol for a lot of years, our minds is so we don't
Still,
need big words and
still,
so
still.
this is really simple, man. And
Yeah.
all of this is is soldiers. Broken down in acronyms. The acronyms like S in soldiers. The first uh the first project with that is strength, and we'll focus on strength. So I don't want to give out too much,
Don't give it
but
out, man. Don't give it out.
um, this is
I'm
major,
so
man.
proud for you.
This is major, and this right here is for adults and children. So
Yeah, because as they change, then adults change and they don't even realize it. See, sometimes
right,
we can't come at adults the same way because adults don't like to look at where they need to change. It's easier to point at the addict and say, there's the problem. But it's harder for people to look in the mirror and say, well, maybe I'm part of the problem with it. So I can work with all this and really create
listen,
change. So
listen.
what you got is
L- Let me
genius.
tell you something. Let me tell you the way this is designed.
I
And
love it.
that's all I gotta
I
say,
love
man.
it. I feel
The
it,
way
man.
this is
I know it.
designed, this was designed
I know
by
it.
me, me, and a psychiatrist, friend of mine. She's a psychiatrist. She has a doctor's degree. I have another doctor with a doctor's degree in human health care, Michael Edwards. You can Google him. And my seventh grade teacher, which is a principal today,
Man,
and she has a doctor's degree. So we got two doctors, psychiatrists,
look at
and me.
look at who you surround yourself with today, and where you're headed today, versus who
No,
we
but
used to
listen,
surround ourselves with. You know what
no,
I'm
because
saying?
look, but
That
guess
says a
what?
lot. That
But
says a lot.
it was it's a lot of doctors and stuff out there too getting high, man.
I know. I know it. I
It
know
is,
it.
man. But they, I get it because Dr. Edwards, he's a recovering addict himself.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he got over 20 years clean. He has his doctor's degree and he works in that field. So this I already know that this right here, this is
It's
the
ready.
answer to a whole lot of lives can be saved from.
Yeah, now one of the videos you put up on your channel did it, and that's one of the ones I saw. I don't remember where I saw it, if it was on Instagram or what, where you and it was another young man, and y'all were kind of looked like y'all were doing a play. That's what really drew me. That was the video I saw that drew me to reach out to you and
Yeah, well
ask you. And I
that's the
thought that's got to be the program. And when I
that's the program.
saw,
Yeah.
that's what had me reach out to you finally, because
Yes,
I've been
that's the
watching your videos, but I saw that one and I said, wait a
yeah.
minute. I said, they doing something right now that I feel is
Yeah,
big.
that's the that's the uh that's the assembly.
Y'all make sure that you go and
That's the
follow
assembly.
Suleiman
Yeah, that's the
there
one.
at
I
Soldiers for Recovery and find out more for
I
sure.
did that at
That's a powerful video.
It was a Chichester High School. It was mandatory for their senior class. If they wanted to go on prom, they had to come to that assembly.
That is genius.
And that's
That
how
is
they had that
genius.
structure. And that was for their senior class. I've done up the youngest, it's third grade all the way up to 12th graders. That assembly is specifically designed to bring awareness about the disease of addiction through my own personal life experiences and trauma. And I have it written as like a stage play.
That is amazing. That's
Yeah,
amazing because that was the video that sparked the, inquiry in me. I think I watched that. I watched one more, and it was about that one, and right then I sent you a
yeah.
message right after that. I told you,
Listen,
yeah, I'm starting to lose you. I'm
it's getting
starting.
bigger and bigger.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
getting
man.
bigger and bigger, man. It's
You
getting
are.
bigger and bigger.
This is only like the smallest beginning of this. When you
Yeah.
start, there you go. I can see you. Whenever you start, the more this gets out, man, the more lives this is going to touch. Like I'm talking to you in a place that this time next year you're not going to be in. Like this time next year, you will be walking in the shoes of your divine purpose and living out the dream that you have and being so purposeful. And I
Yeah,
know
man.
that, man. I see it.
Man,
I see it.
if
I see it.
God allows that, man, like I said, I take any help
I see it.
that I can get to get me in front of these children
I see
as
it.
a preventative measure. To get this program, this 8-week program in front of children and adults as well, it'll be amazing, man. And
Yeah, that's
you
awesome.
know, it'll change a lot of lives and
Yeah,
definitely change the course of the future, our future
that's
doctors, our future
yeah.
lawyers, our future
Our
counselors, our
society as a
future
whole.
therapists as a
Yes,
whole. Yeah, man.
society as a
Yeah.
whole. 'Cause
And it's needed because no one is addressing it. And
no,
no one's doing it the way I'm doing it.
I was so surprised when she said to me that there was no, you know, no education on addiction at even 13, because most of us we start putting some foundation into addiction around those ages in drinking and
They
young
don't look,
drinking
the
and
kids
different things, smoking.
listen, they don't want to kids don't want to hear,
They
oh, you
don't.
shouldn't drink
Right.
because of this and
Exactly.
alcohol is bad. No, they want a story.
That's right. That's right.
You give them a story, you give them the visual, and
Love it.
that's what I bring.
Yeah, I saw part of that,
I
man, and
bring, I bring. It's so every time. Listen, I'm not toot my own horn. I challenge anybody. Call Chichester High School in Philadelphia. No, it's in Chichester, PA. West Catholic, West Catholic High School. Call them. I encourage you to. What else? You can call. I did so many schools. Boys Latin Middle School.
so how
Call
many
them and ask them. Ask them what was the impact after the Suleiman Hassan Addiction to Recovery School left.
y'all got to start getting some video of that. The next
Well,
one you do, get some b-roll video.
yeah, yeah. Actually, I just did Toby Farms sixth grade class. I do have that on
Good.
video, but
Good.
I filmed that like as a promo. Call these places.
Yeah.
Call
Yeah.
them and
Yeah.
and and and, and ask about Soldiers for Recovery, the impact on how many lives was I able to help save, how many counselor visits after I left that the school was able to help children that are suffering at home,
It is.
kids that wasn't talking, like I just did when I did that senior class, it was one kid, he was graduating. This boy never talked his whole 4 years. He spoke that day, and he said he lost his mother and his father drug overdoses 2 weeks ago,
Mm.
and how he's living with his brother, and his brother's on drugs, and they didn't know that he was going through so much. But after me coming there speaking, they were able to give him the assistance that he needs. This is the
Man,
impact of my life story.
that's amazing. That's
And it's
amazing.
all about getting the kids to speak up and understand that it's okay to not be okay. It's
Yeah.
okay to ask for help. It's okay
Yeah.
to not be, because I address peer pressure. I address bullying. I address, you know, Instagram,
Yeah.
addiction, just addiction. It's not just about drugs and alcohol that I
No,
write.
not at
I
all.
speak on everything.
Not at all. That online gaming addiction is a big thing right now that
What?
needs to be addressed.
It needs to be. Did you read about the kid in China killed his grandmother
No.
because she made it? She told him to get off the game.
Man, it's getting out of control, and I saw it start in our son when he was probably 13 and 14.
Yeah.
It got even far out of hand, and I was out in the community asking for help, and they were, it's just a game. It's just a game. I'm like, no, this is the new heroin. You don't understand. This is the new
Yeah.
heroin. I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
And and so I'm glad that your program, can even address into
I address
that.
everything. I address
So perfect,
addiction.
perfect, perfect.
My life story
As a
as
whole
a
person.
whole, as a
Amazing.
whole. So it's so many
Amazing.
angles, and hopefully we can, come together. I can, get
Oh
down
yeah.
there, or we can
Yeah.
do a Zoom and and
We're gonna
and
do some
whatever.
stuff. We're gonna do some stuff. I'm gonna get this stuff going. Well, thank you
Yeah,
for
we can
being
make
with us
some.
tonight, man.
Thanks for
And
having me, man.
man, it's amazing to connect with you. We're going to be in touch very, very soon. I'm grateful that you got to spend this time with us. Keep doing what you do. Keep going down to the front lines, man. Keep saving lives. Keep showing it to us. We need you. Stay safe out there.
All
Stay
right.
amazing. I'm so grateful.
All
Man,
right.
I'll talk to you very soon. All
Talk
right.
to you. All
See
right.
you soon, man.
Peace and blessings,
Amen.
everybody. Thanks for having me.
Amen.
Love you all.
Absolutely. Amazing. Amazing. I love this guy. He's an amazing guy. I'm so grateful that y'all had the chance to sit with us and just partake in this live information and inspiration and motivation filled, absolutely filled podcast. Remember, I said if you stuck around to the end that you would get this special, amazing, awesome thing from my good friend Pamela Topjian and Breakthrough Hypnotherapy. If you go there and tell them LC and Recovery Soul Food sent you, she's going to give you a full free session of hypnotherapy. Now, there's everything that we can do in our lives, and I say do this and this and this and this. We don't have to have one thing that works for everything. Hypnotherapy has been an amazing part of my healing journey, still is. And Pamela Topjian is an amazing human being, allied to all, advocate for everyone. And she's so beautiful to give this free gift as well. And so make sure you go to hypnobreakthrough.com. Make sure that you tell her that LC and Recovery Soul Food sent you. Make sure you also download your Sober app today. Get involved in that. It is growing, 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 and we need you to be a part of that because we are better together. So when we all come together and we express our needs and we lift each other up, we grow together. And I still believe and always will that the recovery community is here to change the world back to humanity because, we got a special bond. Like we've got a special thing that we share where none of us should have judgment for each other's healing or their truths. We've all been in places where those things just didn't matter anymore. And that's how we got to love each other, learn to look at the world in that way because they need us. They need us more than we really, really, truly understand. So, rock your recovery lifestyle. Remember, you can always get up from your give up and create a life you love. And I'm living proof of that. Suleiman is a living proof of that. And so make sure that you reach out to do everything possible to become and be and love the best version of you possible. Thank you here on Instagram for joining us too. This has been kind of a strange deal. It's the first time I've done this. Thank y'all for doing that. And I appreciate y'all. Thanks for all behind the scenes stuff that you've had to see. Sorry for that, but I just wanted as many people as possible to get to hear that amazing message. If you've got a powerful message that you and goal that you're reaching for in recovery and you think that you would make an amazing guest for this podcast, then reach out to me. You can reach out at riseuprecovery3@gmail.com or you can send me an Instagram message. We are at recovery underscore soul food and we're on Facebook, Twitter, It's all in the description. Make sure that you read that, but subscribe to our channel if you're here. Thank you for watching. Have an amazing, amazing week and an amazing life. And just remember, you can do anything that you put your heart into doing. Happy Pride Month, everybody. I love you all. Have an amazing week. I'll see you next time. Bye.